Whoops. Why does this look like this is, here we go. That's better. Kind of an awkward angle. I do apologize for the poor lighting. I mean, I don't think it's that bad that you guys can't see me at all visually. Hi, how are you? Hello, guys. I really wanted to come on here and just talk briefly about learning yourself so that you know your worth. And these things definitely come with age and experience. And that's what makes it very challenging, because when a lot of people that are wise, they may or may not have, gone through certain experiences that gives them this certain wisdom that they have. For me personally, I'm the type of person where I may not have endured a lot of different situations, but for some reason, I still feel like, I don't know, God has given me a gift where I'm still able to guide people in spite of maybe not necessarily having to go through it. And Heather, I did see your comment. I'm so happy that your spirit needs to see this video and hear what I have to say, because it definitely is on my heart. And I feel like so many times we are in so many different situations and we just can't get out of it. I feel like what separates certain people from certain people is the fact that I understand that you can know something or situation, someone is bad for you, and still not be ready to leave. And that is what makes it all the more difficult, because it's like, if I know this is bad for me, then why can't I leave? Well, listen, it's like this. We know McDonald's is bad for us, right? I mean, I don't eat McDonald's personally because I'm a vegan, but let's just say we know that fast food is bad for us, and we still continue to eat fast food, knowing that it's not good for us. It's the same principle when it comes to relationships, situationships, and things of that nature. In fact, the video that I recorded today is on the topic of settling season, because that's what this is. It's the winter time now. It's the holidays. A lot of people are feeling this need to, have family around them or a partner with them, and they're feeling like, love is in the air. It's a very lonely time. I apologize if you guys hear a lot of sirens in the atmosphere. I'm in the car right now. Hi, Jess. Thank you so much. Thank you. I absolutely love this hair color too, because it's actually like an auburn reddish, but there's so many different hues to it, kind of, that I love it. It's just very dimensional. Back to what I was saying. So, sorry, trying to get adjusted here. There comes a time in life, especially if you're, over the age, if you're 25 and older, such as myself, there comes a time where when you're in certain situations, it should be a lot easier to leave certain things that are not serving you. That's what it is at the end of the day. And I understand that it takes time to really actually be done. And I realize that this happens to come into play when our egos are involved, because we all have them, including myself. It's human nature. We all have egos. So when we're in a situation with someone and something happens to us, or a level of, disrespect that we've, tolerated or encountered, to our ego, it's like, no. There's no way that this individual did this to me. There's no way that I caught him doing this. There's no way that I saw that on his phone. There's no way that, he feels this way towards me. So what do? We immediately go dive in and try to fix the situation and try to dive into the situation even more, because it's like, there's no way that happened to me. Like, it's me. There's no way that happened to me. And I think that happens to all of us. I think we can all relate to that. So I say, instead of saying know yourself to know your value, You can't know yourself without learning yourself, because in order to know, you have to learn in order to acquire the knowledge, right? So me, even in my own journey, there's always something to learn, okay? I'm learning every single day because I'm a student of life. That's what it is at the end of the day. If you are not constantly growing, constantly progressing, then you might as well say that you're dead, spiritually, whatever the case is, figuratively, you are, because life itself is a journey. You're never going to arrive. You will have goals, you'll have aspirations, you will hit them, and then you will try and conquer something else, which is what you should be doing. I think that when it comes to relationships and in growing and enduring different things in life, I think it's important that we realize toxicity soon and we get out faster. We shouldn't be in situations, dragging them out longer like we used to. You understand? So let's say, for example, you were in a relationship or a situationship that was very toxic for 8 months. Let's say you enter into a new situation and you are in that situation for a month, 3 months, whatever the case is. Then you need to make sure that it's ending in a very short time span and not dragging that on like it did the last relationship for another 8 months, just because, well, you don't want to start all over. Well, because he didn't really mean that. Let's not even chalk it up to that. People are all doing the best that they can according to their level of consciousness. But it is not our job to be fixing, these guys, coddling their feelings to death when we are still growing within ourselves, especially if you're in your 20s and things of that nature. It's not fair for anyone to have to do the work for another being. Do you understand that person isn't doing on their own? And not everyone is capable of communicating or articulating that they can't do this. So normally what men will do is they will keep the situation going on, dragging on, and you will chalk it up to, oh, well, he's obviously still likes me because he's, still around and we still hang out here and there. But let's actually bring context to all the things that you're enduring in the meantime, for the sake of, in hopes one day, that he's going to get it together. This guy is a great person, and that. Sweetie, there are great people on the earth. There really are. I do not doubt that for 1 second. There are also people that you will encounter, which becomes even more confusing, that are great people that things still just don't work out with them. And that's completely okay. It's okay if something doesn't work out with someone. It doesn't mean that all of a sudden that you should demonize them or whatever the case is. It just means that it's not for you. That person is not for you. And even if it's the case of, right girl, wrong time, or right guy, wrong time, which means not now, which means you gotta go. Start packing up your things. It is 2020, guys. We are entering into a new year. I think it's very important that we really take heed to this message and really understand that it is really not the time anymore to be playing games at any of our lives. And this has been really resonating with me. As we enter into the new year, we should be also getting rid of any more toxic behaviors, toxic situations. Let everything, die down right now before we enter into January. Because what people don't understand is, come January, just because it's January 1st, doesn't mean that you're all of a sudden going to just drop that guy. All right, just give me to the new year and it'll be on my New Year's resolution. No, start now. Start preparing now to let that situation go. Start preparing now to whatever your goals are. Start preparing now, okay? Even if it's as simple as waking up every morning and the first thing you do is drink water. Start doing that right now. Because the only way to actually learn yourself is to stop and take heed to all the circumstances around you and start to really self-assess and take inventory of what is going on. Because let me tell you, if you don't do it, these flaws that you have and these issues that you have, we all have flaws, we all have issues. If you don't deal with them, they're going to bleed on to someone else. And think about a situation with a guy that you've been with maybe, and you know that this situation could have worked, but the circumstances weren't right because of maybe how that individual interprets things or the place that that individual is in their life. And doesn't that suck? It sucks. And you don't want to be the reason why something couldn't have worked out because you don't know yourself and you have too much turmoil going on in your life. You have all this chaos. So instead, you distract yourself by being with another person because that helps to deflect you from actually doing the work that you need to do for yourself. You know, this is why it's so important to not relationship hop. This is why it is so important to not do that. Because yeah, people can argue, oh, the quickest way to get over someone is under someone else. Oh, okay. Okay, you can argue that. But then what are you going to do when you catch feelings for the next guy that you were under? What are you going to do when you keep running away from yourself? That is not what this is about. This is about true transformation and true change in your life. Okay? And take everything, every single thing, I don't care what it is. Everything is a lesson. Everything happens for a reason. And there are so many times in life where we think to ourselves, there was no reason for this situation to happen to me. I did not deserve to endure the situation. But I promise you, there was something to learn from it. Okay? We all make mistakes. Wise people make mistakes. Okay? That's a part of life. And it's easy to beat yourself up about it and be like, oh my gosh, like, oh, I'm just so over it. Like, why do I even try anymore? The easiest thing to do is quit. That's the easiest thing to do. Just because a situation didn't work out the way that you may have anticipated doesn't mean quit. It means learn, assess, and move on and move accordingly. Okay? Don't repeat the same patterns. Don't escape with the same old coping mechanisms in hopes that something is going to be different, because it's not. It's not. Escaping will not do anything other than crystallize your current state. And nobody wants to be the same person and handling things the same way in every situation. Because that's when you start to realize if the same situation keeps happening to you over and over and over again, then that means you're not learning from it. Life is going to teach you the same lesson over and over and over again until you learn from it. And that's what separates people that are willing to take accountability for their part, because it always takes two to tango. It's always easier to blame another person. But what we have to realize and say out loud to ourselves is, I chose this person. And of course, that's a hard thing to, accept. Like, what do you mean I chose this person? Do you mean to tell me that I chose to be cheated on? I chose to have this guy, disrespect me? Essentially, yes. You chose this person, and you may not have understood all that they were coming with, but as soon as the first offense happened, this is where your ego comes in. You tell yourself, like, there's no way that happened to me, so let me try and fix it. And I'm here to tell you that as soon as something like that occurs, as soon as things stop making sense, because we all know when it does, as soon as things stop making sense, start preparing for your exit. Okay? We all have been in situations, I've mentioned this in my video that I recorded today. We all have been in situations where we realize that guys are so consistent and persistent. Every single day you're getting that good morning text, you're getting that, interaction, you're getting that communication. And then one day he ends up waking up later than normal. He texts you way later on in the day. Now, what happened here? So you easily write it off and you say to yourself, oh, okay, well, that's just that one situation. Like, that's fine, right? Next thing you know, the next day it happens. The next day it happens. And then before you turn around, that's the programming now. Now you no longer are anticipating seeing this guy, seeing a text from this guy, in the morning, whatever the case is. because, well, you don't know when he's going to hit you up anymore. And so in turn, you being the one that was being pursued, you start pursuing because he took a step back randomly. You start to look at yourself differently. Like, oh, did I do something? Did I do something wrong here? Like, why all of a sudden is he, acting, different? Is it because I should have been, hitting him up, more, whatever the case is? No. Because at the end of the day, in the beginning especially, it is always important to me that guys are always pursuing you and showing their interest. Because if they already are checking out and nothing even happened or anything like that, then why should you even want to be with that person? Give me 1 second, guys. That's what it is at the end of the day. Why should you want to be with that person if they're already checking out and showing inconsistency early on? And I'm saying this right now because I really do feel in my heart that it is super timely, because at the end of the day, it's holiday season and people are getting extra lonely. Whatever our motivation is for wanting to be with a partner, what the holidays tend to do is highlight, what we don't have. Okay. So if you feel like, oh, I don't get along with my family, I don't like my family, the holidays will highlight that and highlight others that do. If you feel like, oh, I've been single for so long, the holidays are going to highlight that. And I don't want you guys to think that it is you. Oh, there must be something wrong with me. Maybe I need to be less tolerable. Maybe I need to be less picky. My standards are too high. No. You mean to tell me that there is not one person on the earth that's for you? Your standards are so high that there's no one for you? If that's the case, then why do you have people that you admire, on, Instagram, whatever the case is? And I understand, guys, Instagram is Instagram. We only see the best moments of people's lives, arguably. But there are still couples out there that I'm sure we all know of, that we all aspire to, for what they seem like, or maybe even actually what they are, which means that it exists. So why does that mean to you that you can't get what you want? Doesn't make sense. I do not believe for 1 second that there isn't someone that is for everybody. I don't genuinely believe that. I believe that there is someone for everybody. In fact, I believe there are multiple people for everyone. But we just have to cross paths. We just have to find ourselves. Find each other, I mean. That's what it is. And in the meantime, it is so important to do all this work, because you'll be so shocked with how soon something can come to you in the appearance of everything that you've liked, everything that you've desired, for it to turn around and not end up working out. That's really hard, especially when you feel like, oh, I think the scariest thing is when you've been working on yourself, you've been minding your business, staying in your own lane, and then you may go through a situation where it's like, I don't understand what happened here. Like, I did everything right and this situation still didn't work out. I don't really get it. Make it make sense. And so in turn, you just start freaking out. And where am I getting this from? I'm getting this from my own personal experience, guys. Because I really do try to be as transparent as I can with you guys. Like, no matter how solid you may be, you will still endure situations that just seemingly make no sense. They make no sense. You have no idea where they're coming from, and it sucks. It really does suck. And at the end of the day, there's always a reason for everything. Nothing ever just happens out of thin air. Really actually dissect and reflect and say, when did this situation start to feel off? And in spite of, I still pursued. When did this situation, become this sort of dynamic that all of a sudden felt like it was going somewhere, and now I can't really see what's in front of me? I don't understand. Make it make sense. I'm scared. You understand what I'm saying? Make it make sense. I think the biggest thing that I've learned, in just, before this year is even ending, is that One, I really do trust myself still. My gut is never wrong. And as soon as things stop making sense, you got to look the other way. You got to start preparing for your exit. Don't dissect into, you know, someone else's chaos. You know what I mean? Don't try to figure out someone else's chaos, because at the end of the day, it's not worth it. It's not worth it to get lost in trying to figure out someone else's drama and why they're behaving the way they're behaving. They don't even know why they're behaving the way they're behaving, and they're incapable of being a healthy individual with you. And here you go, you know, expecting a healthy, normal dynamic, and you're getting everything but that. What's happening? And until, you know, and I address this in my next video, you guys are going to see identifying your triggers, okay? Figuring out your issues, your weak points. You have to identify them, because if you don't, it's going to come up. It's going to come up. Everyone, you know, has a sort of, you know, the honeymoon stage where you're with people and it's like, oh, I like blue, he likes blue. Oh, we love the same type of movies. Oh, we have so much in common. I love country, he loves country. Everything is gonna be same. You understand? And we get so impressed by that. But then after that's over, you know, you feel a little solid, you feel more, you know, that you have a foundation, you have a solid foundation. Then what happens? We automatically start making excuses for the behavior that we want to tolerate, because we don't want to believe that this situation isn't going to work out. We don't want to believe that we really wasted our time. That's a huge thing to the ego. Like, no. There's no way that I wasted my time. Like, what do you mean? What are you saying? Like, make it make sense. Stop. You know, back that thing up and redo it. Not me. Not I. But it happens. It happens, and it will blindside you. And it's nothing to be jaded about or anything. And I really do appreciate you guys saying that you're going through the same thing, because it just makes me feel so good. Like, oh, okay, so what was on my heart, like, was on point. And it's like, thank you, God. Like, you know, I love that you guys always say, like, oh, your videos are, like, so timely and all this stuff. Like, that means so much to me, because I really do feel like God really just gives me this, like, you know, unique gift that I put things out and it's like just what people really need to hear. You know what I mean? And that to me is just, you know, amazing. Like, and that's just from the Lord himself. And I'm very blessed and humbled to be able to have that, you know, ability to do that and to embrace, you know, my calling. And I realized another thing about myself, like, I'm a very complex person. I'm a very complex being. And so naturally, human beings don't like what it is that they don't understand. So when people have lived their regular everyday lives and they may not have encountered somebody that's like you, and they can't box you in to make you fit their mold, and it just won't make sense to them, they don't know how to accept you. They want to force you in, you know, into their own perception of you and to their own narrative of you, because they just don't understand you as a person, as a whole. So they would rather just label you on their own and leave it as that. And I know even for me, like, my personal struggle, to be transparent with you guys, is it's difficult for me to be with people and them know what I do, you know, for a living. It's very difficult. I honestly have yet to see it successfully play out, which is why I am actively choosing to not mention it, because what people, you know, sort of do is, in my experience, again, is they sort of study and try to analyze my personality and me as a person based off of only what they see of me on my channel. Now, is who I am on my channel a completely different person from who I am, you know, in real life? No, it's really not. But because so much of me is public, because I know it's my choice. I choose to be on the internet. I mean, this is my calling. I don't know what else I would be doing. It just becomes very murky when you have people that are just like studying you and assessing you and, you know, personalizing things that they shouldn't, when I'm talking to all of you guys. I'm talking to the masses here. I'm not talking to one person. You understand what I'm saying? So you have to be very strong, okay? You don't have to be a YouTuber. If you are a woman that is a boss, you aspire to be a boss, you are someone that has a strong personality, and you're just someone that you know that it's going to take a certain type of individual to be with you and not be intimidated by all that you come with. And it's so easy for, you know, guys to like, you know, write us off and kind of say, you know, oh, like you're this way, you're that way. You don't have to subscribe to anyone's narrative of who they think that you are. As long as you know who you are, that's all that matters. Okay? Really knowing yourself, being confident in who you are is what's going to make all the difference, because I'm telling you, there's going to be a lot of broken people in life, especially when you're someone that's an empath like myself, and, you know, kind of you draw naturally broken people to you. Okay? People are going to try and assassinate your character. People are going to try and tell you about yourself, projecting their fears onto you, projecting their insecurities onto you. People are going to do that. Men will do that. That's what it is at the end of the day. Now, what are you going to do in response? Are you going to believe that person? Are you going to, you know, lower your standards because you feel like it's winter time now and I really just want someone to take pictures with for a Christmas card? Are you going to cower down and dim your light because you don't want to be intimidating? Because you're only going to be intimidating to the wrong person. The person that I'm supposed to be with, I know, is not going to be at all intimidated by what it is that I do. You know, my growing success that I'm working on achieving. You know, they're not going to be intimidated by that. A real man is not going to be in any way bothered by your, you know, ambition and the things that you want to achieve in your life. I think it's really important that we achieve things for ourselves as women. And this is where it gets crazy. So like, listen up. You don't have to be one thing, meaning you can still be a boss, an entrepreneur, and still want a guy to be a provider for you. I don't know what this thing is where people seem to think that it cannot coexist. Okay, Grant Cardone actually posted something the other day. Actually, no, someone else posted something that Grant Cardone said, and he was basically saying that someone asked his wife if she was a gold digger, and he was saying from a male perspective, like, why wouldn't you want to be with someone that is successful? The term gold digger has a very negative connotation because that's what it's intended to be. But in reality, what is it that women are expecting? Women are expecting to be provided for, okay, and taken care of because we are nurturers by nature. Men are providers by nature, or at least they should be. So with that being said, why is it a bad thing? Why is it a negative thing if that is something that you desire? Why are you not allowed to still be successful, still be a boss, and not have someone provide these things for you at the same time? Why can they not coexist? Says who? Where? Because I know for me, I intend on being very successful. Very successful. You know, I make my own money and everything, and that does not take away from the fact that I still expect my boyfriend to pay that bill when we go out to dinner. I still expect these things from my man. I still expect him to be the provider of the household, regardless of how much money I'm making. And I'm sorry about it. sorry who's mad. You know, I always say this, consider the source. You're never in life going to have anyone downing you that's doing better than you. You're never going to have anyone that's trying to bring you down that's above you or doing, better than you. You're never going to have anyone that is secure in themselves, bringing you down, degrading you, being condescending. Okay? Listen to the things that people say, even the things that people may say in anger. Listen to the things that they say. What are they bringing up all the time? Red flags. And then learn your triggers, because people can easily spot your triggers when you don't know them. You understand what I'm saying? Learn your triggers so you can learn yourself, you can know yourself. And the only way to value yourself is to learn yourself. There's no way around it. Like, there's no skipping that. So you need to really pay attention to the pattern of men that you are attracting, the pattern of men that you are choosing. Because relationships are choices. And think about it. Think about what it is that I'm saying. It makes perfect sense. Okay? And then what happens? Okay? The collateral damage of entering into a situation that you've endured and tolerated for way too long. What is the collateral damage of that? Regret, feeling stupid, feeling used. Now all of a sudden you finally can say to yourself out loud, I knew I deserved better. I want it to stop having to take so much for you to come to that conclusion, babe. Why does it have to be ripped from you? Why does there have to be an extreme circumstance of extreme disrespect? Why does there have to be a massive blowout in order for you to just be done? Why? The older that you become, it's not fun dealing with people that are just so broken. It's not fun dealing with people that are not able to, know themselves. It's just not, your peace is worth so much more than that, than worrying about what this guy's doing, worrying about why this situation is not working out, worrying about why all of a sudden he switched up on you, worrying about what did you do wrong to make him act like this? Because that's what we normally do. We blame ourselves, at the wrong time, and we think that it's us all of a sudden because of how this person, is treating us. And it's exhausting, and it's draining, and it sucks. And then in the end, you walk away drained from a situation that you should have left a long time ago. Now you're having to reassess everything about yourself and why you chose to tolerate the behaviors that you tolerated with that individual. You understand? At what price? At what price are you going to sacrifice yourself and taking the time to genuinely learn yourself? Your singleness is a very important and special time. It's the time to learn yourself to the best of your ability. Consider yourself, if anything, very blessed that you have this opportunity to do these things. Because some people are in relationships and they are, they have to be concerned about another person's feelings. Meanwhile, all you have to be concerned about is just yours and being a whole person so that you're not entering into another situation broken. So that is pretty much what has been, on my heart. And it's a very good feeling when you realize that, wow, like I really do handle situations differently now. Wow, I really do see a lot of things that, I know that the average person probably would have tolerated and put up with. And I was like, no. Okay. Wow. I'm so proud of myself, how far I've come, that I saw this red flag and I dodged that bullet, Wow. I'm so proud of myself that in spite of maybe even staying in this a little bit too long, I'm able to still have an objective perspective in this situation because I know it's not good for me. I think what's more dangerous is when people cannot identify what's actually wrong in the situation, and they're just still staying in it. That is scary. That is scary. And again, I know my approach is very tough love. And again, like I said in the beginning of this live, I am a very complex being. So it does take, you know, certain people to understand how I come off, and people that are willing to, you know, face themselves, because nothing that I dish out, I can't take back. Nothing. So this is how I would want my friends to be with me. I want to hear the truth regardless. I don't want to be yes to death, coddled to death. I want to know what it is right now. Let me know everything. Right here, right now. True transformation is not going to happen if you are constantly dancing around the truth. It's not. And if someone is not here to tell you, sweetie, stop and reassess, then who will? We all have a point in our life where we turn around and we're just thinking to ourselves, oh my God, I wish someone would have told me this sooner. Oh my gosh, I wish that, you know, I would have gotten out of this situation way faster. I wish someone just would have told me. I wish someone would have just been upfront with me. That's what it is at the end of the day. And you guys always say that I help you guys so much, but I feel like it's a mutually beneficial relationship. Because I feel like, oh, thank you so much, Choco. Or is it Choco Mantis? Yeah. You guys help me as well, because I feel like we all keep each other accountable. Because I know at the end of the day, it's like, I don't want to, last thing I would ever want to do is, like, you know, not actually practice what it is that I preach. And it's so easy when you're putting yourself on a public platform for people to, you know, try and discredit you, or your life is essentially under a microscope because you're public, you're on a public platform. It's very, you know, easy to do that. Haley! Hi, Haley. I love you. So that's what it is at the end of the day. And I think it's, you know, we all go through this transition, especially in our, you know, 20s. It's going to hit everyone at a different age. But I think that it's important to just understand that there's going to be a time in your life that you're going to hit where you're going to turn around and you're going to be like, what am I doing? I need to get my life together. I need to figure me out. And you can't constantly do that coexisting with another being and dealing with so many trials and tribulations with this person. It's going to take away from getting to know yourself. Because when you remove that situation, you remove that person, you only have to focus and worry about you. If you never are doing that because you're in a situation with someone else, that's dangerous and that's scary, because we all need that time alone to reflect, assess, and take self-inventory. Everybody. And that's, you know, what it is at the end of the day. So, yeah, that's how I feel, guys. I literally, wow, I've talked for almost 40 minutes. Love that for me. I'm gonna actually look at the comments now. I learned going live that it's easier to not look at the comments, because if I'm reading comments as I'm talking, it's so distracting to my train of thought that I almost never finish an actual thought ever. And I'm constantly jumping from one thing to the next, to the next, to the next. And I'm not, you know, like actually like, you know, being, you know, solid in the information that I'm trying to give. So that's why. And it does help on YouTube. You can't really see the comments as they're coming in, as opposed to Instagram. It's like constant. Let me see. I'm trying to see what you guys say. Yeah, that song, Heather, Lose You to Love Me by Selena Gomez, is such a good song. Like, a lot of the times some people just act on consequence, and that's what it is at the end of the day. A lot of the times we do tend to act on consequence, and that's what, sucks, because we'd all like to think that preventative measure is always best, but you live and you learn. That's what it is. You live and you learn in your life, and as long as you are not constantly making the same mistakes over and over again, then you're good. You're good. And if you can avoid certain things, the more you know, what is that? If you know better, you'll do better. It's a situation like that. I love life, and I hope everyone here does too. Yeah, positive vibes. Aw, thank you, Alex. I'm happy that my videos have helped you and contributed to you guys making smarter decisions, and that is just the most incredible feeling ever. If I could just help one person, then I feel good. Also, I think someone asked me my sign before on here. I am a Taurus sun sign. I am a Aries rising and a Leo moon. So yes, exactly. I do see that you guys were talking about basically we attract who we are. That is so true. So the people that you are attracting in your life are also kind of like mirrors in areas where we need to work on as well. So if you are in a situation where, for instance, let's make it about me, right? So let's say the last guy that I was, with, he to me was not really a great communicator. And then the guy that I dated after him was a way better communicator. Like, to me, like, for argument's sake, for example's sake, that was something that was important to me, because I realized, like, okay, cool. So now I'm attracting someone that is a way better communicator, and I'm not attracting a person that is remotely the same as the last person that I was, involved with. So I think that that's important to always assess who it is that is coming into our lives, because it always is a reflection of where we are currently in our life right then and there. Oh my God. Oh, so Heather, you're a Taurus too. Yeah, earth signs, like I really do. I love all signs, but I really do love earth signs, because there's just a certain balance to us that we have. And that's just what it is at the end of the day. I think that it's amazing to be an earth sign. I know this may be a little trashy, but I really want to know, can you still have a buddy while getting to know yourself? If you genuinely feel like you are capable of having a relationship of that nature and not getting your emotions involved or anything like that, then that is your decision and that's your choice. I don't necessarily feel that, I've never personally done it before, like, myself, but I do feel like, to each its own. Different things work for different people. I just know that for myself, like, I am a very spiritual person, and I like to be intentional about the people that I, date and that I allow into my space. So, for me, I like to, like, keep, my energy, just only about myself, and, and not allowing other people into my space if, I feel like I'm going to be, like, taking on, like, their issues and their traumas, if that makes sense. And so it all depends on your perspective. If you genuinely feel like you are capable of hosting this sort of dynamic while still getting to know yourself, then okay. But I do find that there is a period in time where I genuinely do believe that there needs to be complete solitude, meaning in every aspect of the way, that we need to cut off situations that are temporarily satiating. And that's what it is at the end of the day. Okay, let's see what Choco Mantis said. Why the smart ones with values always have to be so expensive? What do you mean by that question? I don't really understand the question. So, I have had a super toxic best friend for 15 years. So what are you going to do about that situation? What happens when your boyfriend doesn't understand that it's literally nothing else but the simple fact that you need to work on yourself? Well, I've been there before. It's easier to hide in a relationship, hide in other people, seek solitude in other people when you're just not ready to figure yourself out, or you really just simply don't know where to start in figuring out yourself. Dealing with another person and their issues and being a we is way better than just being an I, especially when you really just have no idea where to start at all. You understand what I'm saying? He's not going to be capable of understanding where it is that you're coming from because you guys are not on the same page right now. And it sucks, and it's not an easy thing, but he has to just understand that if you have to be able to be your own person, and you have to grow on your own. I have been in a situation like that where I felt like I was outgrowing someone, and I had to make the decision to just, leave. And, okay, hold on. I'm seeing some really good questions here. Okay. He told me he wasn't ready for a relationship. What do you think? I think, just like he said, he's not ready for a relationship. Please take his advice for it. Please take his word. Not his advice. Please take his word. He's warning you. Do not get involved. Do not sign up for what you already heard. If he clearly told you he's not ready for a relationship, that is not up for interpretation. There is no translation for that other than, I don't want to be with you. I also do not want a relationship. There's no translation for that. It is absolutely exactly what it sounds like. So that's exactly what I think in terms of that. Let me see. Where do you start where did you start when you were learning yourself? Well, I started by reading different books. I like to read books on self-development. So I actually have a video on my channel where I list all the books. Literally, I give you guys every single link to every single book. And I give you guys like the rundown on all the books that I, either have read or books that I find interesting that I haven't read yet, that I do own. At the end of the day, I think that taking that time out to, read, that's my method. That's what I really love. And also, working out, meditating, whether that may be like, just watching different, inspirational YouTubers that, I like watching inspirational speeches on YouTube as well. These, planting these seeds in my head so that I can start learning myself. And also, I just naturally have always been a pretty self-aware person. So, it doesn't really take much for me to kind of gauge like what's going on with me. So I really am thankful for that. So it wasn't really that tough of a journey. It's just a matter of acceptance and doing the work. I believe in hypergamy. Having girlfriends is unnecessary. Competition, fly solo. I mean, that's your opinion. I don't personally believe that anyone is anyone's competition. Because I'm just someone that personally believes that there's room for everybody and that whatever door that, God opens for me, like no one can, shut, no one can steal an opportunity for me. Like it just, for me in my world, in my belief system, like I just don't function that way. So I don't look at other women as my competition. Let me see. I am so in my feelings over my current boyfriend I was dating for 3 months, and I feel like I have more feelings than he has for me. Is he your actual boyfriend? Is my first question. I'm not trying to be funny. Like, I'm actually asking. What is it that is going on in the dynamic between you two that you genuinely actually feel like you are the one that has more feelings than he does. How to get over someone. It's been 6 months and I'm struggling. I think getting over someone, even if you have to, genuinely write down the things that they've done that has upset you, issues that are going on. If you find yourself not being able to communicate with someone and actually telling them what's going on with, yourself, that's a red flag. But in terms of, I see, oh, you're actually broken up with this person and you can't get over them. As long as nothing in life has meaning except for the meaning we give it. If you think about it in simple terms like that, you will understand that the more that you obsess over it, you're making it a thing. The more that you check the Instagram less, the more that you start to act like, this isn't really a thing, and you start proactively moving on, even if that's just, going out with your girlfriends and going dancing, stuff like that. Because I can assure you, like, that person that you're struggling to get over has moved on, in this entire duration of the time that you guys have been broken up. And when you think about that hurtful truth, I think that also makes it a little bit easier, because it's like, listen, what do I look like sitting here mobbing and, sobbing over someone that literally does not care about how I feel right now? I don't know about you, but if I actually had that reality and that thought, I'm not going to sit here and be, crying over anyone that I know does not care about anything that I have going on. Like, what do I look like? How do men react to you saying you want them to provide for you no matter how much money you make? So this has never been a conversation for me that I have had with someone. It's more of just an automatic thing of, it never even comes up in this specific way. It's more of the fact that, I don't know, and just how I carry myself and everything, I think it's more of an automatic thing with me that they kind of know, like, what is up. Like, they know, like, I'm not going to be splitting anything with you here. I'm not going to be splitting this bill with you here. That's not this dynamic. And for you to even have to explain that to someone, I'm sorry guys that my phone keeps dropping. For you to even have to explain that to someone is, to me, like, that person is not my person. If I have to explain to you that dynamic, bye. Like, I'm preparing for my exit. Let me see. Is the itch you scratch sometimes with someone for no reason just your gut instinct warning you? Is the itch you scratch sometimes with someone for no reason just your gut instinct warning you? Yes, well, it can be perceived as a trigger. So I think that in any situation, there is no such thing as something happening for genuinely no reason at all. I don't genuinely believe that there is a such thing as, oh, this just happened, like, for no reason at all. There's always something psychologically to be looked at in regards to the element. There's always something that is to reflect on within yourself that, happened in the relationship. These things are all signs, on the road that lead to a genuine reason. If it's itching a scratch, that's a reason. When you're itching something, let's say if your arm itches, let's say that there was a rash there, so you're very itchy, like all over your body, you're itching that scratch, it feels good. If you're with a guy and you find yourself always chasing him around and trying to figure out what he's doing, and he doesn't want to spend any time with you, for me, I'm thinking, like, okay, why do I find myself constantly chasing this person? Like, it could be as simple as a blow to your ego because you're just not used to that dynamic, or it could also be a psychological thing where, we are dating people that remind us of difficult and traumatic experiences that we may have endured. So we're trying to redo the relationship and redo the dynamic, which inevitably to some degree is a form of ego as well. Let's see. Hey girl, I'm genuinely being courted by this guy that genuinely wants and plans on marrying me in 3 years. He knows how much work it's going to take for me to commit to him. He's fully and he's ready. Oh, that's awesome. Good for you. Good for you. I love your voice. Aw, thank you. Thank you. Whoa, that wind was so strong. I'm scared. Make it stop. Yes, we're dating, and I just feel like he doesn't show a lot of attention like I do, especially physical affection. See, I would take that into a lot of consideration, especially if that's your boyfriend. You have every right and the grounds to have a discussion with him and ask him, why is he behaving in this manner? Okay? Did it start out of nowhere where all of a sudden he started not acting affectionate towards you? Or was he like this from the beginning and you were expecting it to change just because he's now your boyfriend? Like, I feel like I'm doing too much. If you feel like you're doing too much, it's absolutely because you are. How is he going to be your man in this situation and you are feeling like you're still chasing him down to get him to show you affection? I don't like that. I made a lot of mistakes entertaining a guy at work. He's made it clear that he disrespects me, answers girls on speaker, and makes inappropriate comments. Glad I didn't engage with him physically. How do I move on now? Well, I'm glad you identified that it's a mistake. You never, ever, 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 okay, date people that are on the job, because that is just messy. And it, you know, when things don't work out, because usually they never do, you end up having to see this person all the time, and now it's awkward, and then you see them move on and gallivant on to the next, you know, victim. So that's what makes it difficult. I mean, the only way to move on is to literally just act like it didn't happen. And for him to be that petty and be outright disrespecting you, like, really shows a lot about his character. And honestly, I feel sorry for him. Like, sorry to that man. Like, it's really sad that he has to flaunt that he's talking to this chick on speakerphone and making it obvious, like, that, you know, he's talking to some other girl. It's like, I pity you, and that's not what I want. So, like, that alone helps me to move on, because, like, what was there even to move on to? Like, he's like, ugh, no, bye. Is it wrong not to love a man more than he loves you? It's not wrong. I believe that men should, you know, love you more than you love them. There always has to be an unequal balance in that sort, because that's just the balance of life. And I genuinely believe that with all my heart. I have a tendency to always look for something wrong with me or what I might have did wrong to drive them away. How do I work on stopping that mentality? I think that stems from insecurity, and you have to identify what it is specifically that is making you insecure. If somebody is, you know, if you're encountering men that are constantly, you know, being a certain way, and you have zero clue, and, you know, as to why, like, that's kind of a red flag on your end, because you have to be able to identify what it is about you that you're attracting the same dynamic all the time. And for you to think that it is something that is solely wrong with you, I mean, to some degree, it does take two to tango. So only you can figure out what it is that is within you that is feeling this exact way. You understand what I'm saying? To change that mentality, you simply have to start building confidence. You simply have to be, first of all, you need to be honest with yourself and tell yourself, all right, here are my issues, here are my flaws. That's on that. How can I work on that? What is it that I don't like about myself that someone may bring up to me that will trigger me and make me feel a certain way? Is it too late to change a relationship dynamic once he's paying for dinner for the past 3 months and we've been dating, and recently me to pay, he makes more than me for sure also? Wait. And recently. So wait, why did you end up having to pay? I'm confused. in order for someone to miss you, sometimes you have to leave. That is true. I mean, the absence makes their heart grow fonder, but at the same time, it's a very tricky line between that, because sometimes people just are not your person at all. And so it can be perceived as, it can be misleading when people resurface in your life and you can think that it means, oh, that they really miss me and they finally learned. But really, that's not even necessarily the case. It's just a matter of them probably being bored, because to me, I'm not going to give people access to me that messed it up the first time. We're done here. And I'm planning my exit. Are you going to keep this live up? I came late. I sure am. Should I expect him to pay for the trip entirely like he did for our first trip, or should I plan some money aside for the trip? Well, rule of thumb, always have your own money like as backup just in case. But also, like, he should know like this already. Also, like, I wouldn't take vacations with someone that's not my boyfriend, because to me, that's just an easy way for them to try and get sex out of you. Simply because you're going to be on a trip with someone. So they're going to, have you in the same hotel room as them. And it's just like, to me, so corny. Like, it's a corny way of trying to get someone to sleep with you. It's like, oh, well, people are going to feel indebted to them because they, got a trip. You know what I mean? Ugh, God. Always have your own money, but don't pay for anything. Like, he wants you to go on the trip. What do I look like paying for, for anything for? You understand how much money it took me to walk out this house? Huh? My hair alone, what is this, $700? Okay. My lashes are $30. My, foundation is $50. Don't get me started. What do I look like? Guys, get ready in 3 seconds. I don't have time. What do you do if you're the one that struggles with the affection? Are you saying that you are not capable of showing affection to a guy? I would like to thank you for making these videos. It has been great support. My mother passed away, so I didn't have another woman close to me to talk about self-value. People get offended. Oh, you're so welcome. That's so sweet. How do you pick yourself up and see your worth when someone doesn't? I think that just takes true confidence, because if it takes one person to just wipe that away from you, then you really got to build a stronger foundation. Because for me, I know myself, and I know that one person's, incapability of valuing me or taking me, seriously is not a reflection of me. That's on you. That means you have a problem, sir. It's called missing the boat. It's called being stupid. If you know your value and you are really doing things with your life and with yourself, and someone is going to miss the boat, adios, ciao, adios, I'm gone. Let's begin to plan the exit. The seriousness of my career, and this is why I always stress the importance of really having your own life and your own thing going, because this more, the older that you become, you realize how serious life is, okay? And you realize that, time is of the essence. Who you spend your time with is, very important, and that time is the one thing that, money can't buy. It's a invaluable resource. So, with that being said, to me, it's like, okay, if someone's going to be dumb enough to, ruin that, then what? To me, I don't question myself at all, because I'm like, no. I spent all this time, all this work working on myself for it to be undone because somebody is not acting the way that they should be acting. I don't think so. I do think of myself very highly, and most people don't like that. So it's very refreshing to see and hear another woman who is of good spirit talk like this. And you know what? A lot of people are just threatened by people that are genuinely confident. And it's so easy to write people off and not understand why they are the way that they are. There's a difference between being confident and being arrogant. And a lot of people are not capable of understanding the difference. You understand? They're just not. So they easily write off people that carry themselves in a very, maybe assertive way, or a way that's direct and that they clearly are sure of themselves. And they write that person off and say, ugh, I don't like her. She's snobby. She's this, she's that. And it's like, only people that are threatened by, I've never once in my life ever looked at another woman and thought to myself, ew, she's snobby. Like, I've never felt that sort of intimidation before. You understand? And to me, that's something to, look back and reflect within yourself and ask yourself, why am I bothered by how this person is coming off? What is, going on in my life that I'm feeling anyway about what this person is saying? Let's see. Do you believe in fully blocking and locking off, or letting someone watch your social media and watch you level up? So it depends on the dynamic. Like, for me, it depends on how things ended. Like, one person that I was, with before, like, I blocked him and he will stay blocked for eternity. And like another individual that I was seeing before, like, I blocked him at first and then I unblocked him because I feel like, he is like a nice guy. He is a good guy, and I don't really see the harm in him, like, seeing like what I'm doing on my social media or anything. Like, I don't really, to me, it's not that serious for me to like feel like he, doesn't deserve to like see, what's going on in my life and, watching my glow up. So to me, like, I don't mind that at all. Like, it depends on the dynamic. And so considering for me, like with my last, like, dynamic, like, I'm not in any way like feeling like, I don't want this person to like see what's like going on with me. So it all depends. Thank you for the shout out. That was so awesome. I felt super connected with so many awesome people in these comments. I'm feeling better about my new reality and creating new boundaries. Oh, you're so welcome, Heather. I meant, if you catch the itch, suddenly repulsed by the same person you liked initially, is that intuition? That is intuition. That is your body, your mind, your gut protecting you from something. This is what I was talking about in my last video that I didn't post yet. We as women have to stop the sympathy dating. Enough. It doesn't make sense. We do not need to be being with people because we feel bad for them and, oh, they liked us before, and so I don't know, I need to give them a chance because they might be a good guy. I don't care, because guys don't do that. Guys don't say, bro, I feel bad for her, bro, like, bro, she really does like me though, bro, I think I should go out with her. No, guys don't do that. So we as women need to stop doing that. Enough with the sympathy dating, enough with the sympathy sex, enough with the pity dating, the pity sex, enough. And I'm signing off because it has to end. We're not subscribing to that narrative anymore. And, we should be bored of that narrative. Like, we're done. So that's what it is at the end of the day. We're not doing that anymore. No more pitying and sympathizing with people that we simply do not want to be with. Guys are not doing that, for us. My ex wants to give me $1,000 for Christmas. Should I take? Why does he want to give you $1,000? I mean, if he wants to give you $1,000, unfortunately, that's on him. Gifts happen to be my love language. You can't give me this and expect, what do you expect in return? That's your mistake. If you want to make that mistake, that's on you. But I want you to know that there's no strings attached for this. I would ask him, to be fair and to be genuine, to be honest, because I am like, a genuine person. I would make sure that I have a discussion with him, and I would say, because certain things I just can't do in good consciousness. Certain things I just don't rock with. So I would genuinely say, like, hey, like, I do appreciate the gesture. However, what does this mean? Because I wouldn't want to put us in a position where I'm accepting this from you, and you seem to think that this, you know, this has strings attached to it. Because the last thing you ever want to do, which is, you know, something that never ends, is when you accept something from somebody and now they're going to take that and blow it up in your face. But I gave you this for Christmas. You shouldn't have took it then if you didn't want to be with me. Is it worth hearing all that? I don't think so. I'm definitely saving this live, guys. Do not worry. So I personally do think that's a red flag, because, like, you know, guys, you know, normally don't really operate that way. Once a situation is done, it's kind of done. So if someone's going to be, you know, kind of offering me money and they're my ex-boyfriend, it's like, what's going on here? But if you guys have that discussion and he still says to you, like, he's still subscribing to, you know, giving you that after you made it clear that nothing is going to come from you on your end, then that's on him. Okay, let's see. Yeah, 2020 is going to be a lot different for us, guys, okay? Is it ever okay to date a man who makes less than you but treats you so well he just can't afford to pay for every single thing? Well, it depends on where you are in your life. If I was 18, that's, like, probably acceptable. But for me now, it's unacceptable, because I don't want to feel awkward. The things that I want to acquire for myself, I am the type of person where I believe I can date someone that is successful, because I have done it 1,000 times over, and I'm also capable of being with someone that not only is successful, but also it's still treating me well at the same time. Like, again, these can coexist together. It's not one or the other. And the sooner we realize that we don't have to sacrifice one or the other, the better that it is. Because I think a lot of us seem to, you know, sympathize and stick around for dynamics because we feel like, well, he might not have this, but, like, at least he, like, treats me really good. And it's like, those same men, I'm not saying all men, sometimes those same men will pick up the pieces when they get on their feet, and they'll go take that and build another life with another person. So be careful. Okay. I just subbed watching. Oh my gosh, the video I saw. Oh, thank you for watching. He said he just wanted to be friends and that things won't change. The hell will always be there for me, but I want a relationship. Bro, I did so much for him, and that's the issue, babe. That's the issue. You overcommitted to somebody that wasn't ready to do those things. You're only going to feel shortchanged when you oversell yourself and you overcommit yourself. That's when you're going to feel shortchanged. Okay? Tread lightly. Don't just give your feelings over to any and everyone. It doesn't work like that. Men do not fall in love with you by you doing the most for them. Especially initially. They don't operate that way. Okay? When you give everything and you give it all, and then on top of that you give your body too, it's like, well, then what is there really to search for? What is there really to work for? I've seen everything. Hi, Gina. You know, there's no incentive anymore. You know? Know yourself. Know yourself. You know? Because the worst feeling is feeling short-changed. Unequal love kills intimacy. What do you mean in that regard? What do you mean that unequal love kills intimacy? At the end of the day, men are way less emotional than women, stereotypically. So, given that factor, that's why I believe that men should always, or someone, let's just be fair and say someone needs to love someone more in order for the dynamic to work. That, because if you know, both partners, you know, no partner, I don't believe ever truly feels exactly the same. I don't know if I genuinely believe that. But everything is circumstantial. And this is just what I believe. So you're very welcome to have your own opinion. What is your opinion on waiting until marriage while dating? I think that's amazing. You know, everyone is entitled to live exactly the way that they want. And I think that is very admirable. And there's nothing wrong with that. And you are very capable of dating someone and not being intimate with them and waiting till marriage. But make sure, I want to be, you know, very honest, make sure that you're dating people that are capable of being on the same page. Some people are so drawn to people that are opposite of them that they want people that are genuinely not capable of giving them what it is that they want. So you know what they do instead? They compromise and they change their mind. Oh, well, my standards are too high. No, 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 no. You're choosing the wrong people. You're, you know, let's say someone that is, you know, very, you know, selective and you're reserved and you're drawn to the overly charismatic guy that's the life of the party that every girl wants, and you're wondering why this guy can't commit to you and that he talks such a good game and he says like, you know, we're going to be together anyway. So like, I just don't understand why, you know, we just won't do it. Because I do want to, I want to be with you anyway. So if we know we're going to be together and I respect your values and you're, you know, just love bombing you with a lot of truth, so it soothes our ego and it feels so good to hear like, oh, this person understands me, and oh my God, like I want, you know, that dynamic of, you know, the opposites attract, where like I'm so quiet and like reserved and like I want someone that's going to be, you know, taking more of the lead and taking more initiative, you know, with certain dynamics, because I know how shy I am. You understand? So you have to be able to gauge whether or not that person is capable of giving you what you want. If you are someone that wants to wait till marriage, you cannot be seeking the life of the parties, the guy that's literally bringing every chick around town. You got to be mindful of that, because then you're never going to find the right person, searching in all the wrong places and choosing all the wrong people. You know? What do I do when I want to contact a lover and we haven't talked in 7 months? You do nothing. You do nothing. Because nothing, you know, good ever really comes from going backwards. I mean, I've really rarely seen it. It's not a thing. So I wouldn't do that. I believe that there's so much value in myself and so much, you know, self-work and self-love, self-inventory that I've done in my life, where I genuinely feel like I am not handing out backstage passes and free rides to my show anymore. Like, I'm done. I'm bored of the narrative. I'm unsubscribing. I'm not doing it. You miss the boat. You miss the boat. Okay? And your lesson to learn from that is you do not mess up things that you once had access to and that you had a chance to, because not all the time you're going to get a second chance. That's what it is at the end of the day. Do you believe broken people attract broken people, or empaths, healers attract broken people? I believe it's both. Broken people do attract broken people, but also, more than anything, I can speak for myself, that being an empath and a healer, you definitely do attract broken people. There's a dynamic to people like us where we want to fix people. And it's a problem. So people like me tend to attract people that are emotionally unavailable. You may attract a narc here or there, because there's different versions of narcs. You attract people that have an element of brokenness. Now, the crazy thing is, we all do have an element of brokenness in us. It's just that being an empath, you tend to attract that a lot more, because there is a part of you that feels safe for the other individual, and there's a part of you that wants to mend and heal that other person, because we can identify or empathize with that pain. Any advice for a 25-year-old girl moving in with her boyfriend of 3 years and has never lived on her own? I mean, this is going to be a definite, you know, an interesting experience for you. Oh, thank you so much, Heather. This is definitely going to be an interesting experience for you. I personally have never lived with a significant other. I personally am not sure if that's something that I would ever do. I don't think so. I I don't know. It's actually never something that I've ever considered, like moving in with, you know, my boyfriend or anything. I've never ever considered it. I don't really think I want to either. Like, I'd rather just like be on my own per se. People do say that people that do live with their significant other, they do say that you don't really know someone until you live with them. That's what people say, arguably. So you're going to learn a lot about you. You're going to learn a lot about this individual, you know? So all you can do in certain situations is, uh-oh, guys, that is literally crazy. The lighting is literally so bad now. It's so different. Ugh. The lights turned off where I was. I'm going to move because I was parked somewhere. You see what happens when I literally get carried away talking to you guys and then the lights turn off. Hold on. Because I want you guys to be able to see me. I can't even see my back camera. All right, let me move. And I hope these lights don't start shutting off either. Over here. Uh-oh. Okay, this should help. Ooh, it's very blurry. I think that probably is a sign that it's time to go, because it is just, the lighting is just too terrible over here. Jesus. I'm so sorry, guys. How do you feel about Kohut's reconceptualization of narcissism? Do you feel there are more parallels in understanding the sexes through that lens? I am not familiar at all with who Kohut is or their work, so I can't really answer that question because I literally have zero clue. Let me answer one more, guys, and then I'm just going to be done because, like, this lighting is, like, literally unacceptable. Thoughts about dating someone younger? How young are we talking? Because I personally don't, I would never date anyone that's younger than me. I never have dated anyone that's younger than me. Men mature, you know, slower than women do anyway. So for me, I do like to date guys that are older than me, for sure. Of course, age does not necessarily mean maturity, but, you know, with age, I'd like to think comes, you know, with wisdom. That is up for your own interpretation, depending on the individual that you are with. However, I don't really like the idea of dating someone that's, you know, younger than me. Aw, thank you so much, Heather. Okay, guys, so I'm definitely going to go now. Thank you guys so much for this live. This has been a long live, 83 minutes. Don't even know how long that really is in like hours or anything. But yeah, don't worry, for everyone that just got here, the live is definitely going to be saved. So thank you guys so much. I'm finding that every time I go live, like, I love the interaction that you guys have amongst one another. And thank you so much, Elsie. And I think that it's just so awesome to see this, like, amazing community. I will be uploading again, don't worry guys, this week. I have to go home and edit the video that I filmed earlier today. So if you guys would like me to do more lives, let me know in the poll that I posted today, actually, because I definitely love going live with you guys and interacting with you guys, you know, like in real time. It's like amazing. So I definitely want to start doing more of these like I used to in the beginning. Also, guys, fun fact, okay, my channel started on December 7th last year. So, oh my gosh, guys, it's coming up in 2 days. It's going to be officially 1 year since I've been on YouTube. I mean, this is literally insane to me. Like, if you would have told me that I would be where I am last year, like, I don't know if I would have believed you. So it's just really amazing. And I'm so grateful for every single one of you guys and all the people that have been with me since the very beginning, and I'm eternally grateful. So if you guys ever have the time, for some of you that just got here now, if you ever have the time, you can watch it back on your break or divide it into parts if you want to as well. And thank you guys so much for just taking out this time and like hanging out with me. You could be doing anything else in the world right now, and you just decided to watch me, you know, speak. It's like very humbling. So I love you guys so much, and I will see you guys in the next video. Mwah. Good night. Okay. End.